Hello students, I hope you all are fine and taking very good care of yourselves. Today we are going to take chapter number 2, class 8 science, microorganisms, friends and foe. Students, before starting the chapter, I will ask a few questions from you. First question, why do we put dried neem leaves with grains while storing them in the metal container? Yes, answer is very simple. We do this to prevent grains from spoiling. Now the next question. You must have seen that during the rainy season, bread gets spoiled and its surface get covered with grey-white patches. What are these grey patches? And the answer is, these grey patches appear due to fungi. Now the next question. What will you observe if we watch these grey patches under magnifying glass? And the answer is, we will be able to see tiny black rounded structures which are fungi. Next question. If we watch curd under a magnifying glass, shall we be able to see anything? And the answer is, no, we shall not see anything. Curd contains several organisms due to which it is formed, but we cannot see them with magnifying glass. To see them, we need a microscope, and these organisms are called microorganisms. Today, we shall learn about microorganisms and their types, friendly microorganisms, harmful microorganisms, disease-causing microorganisms in plants and animals, method of food preservation, nitrogen fixation and nitrogen cycle. Students, these microorganisms are found everywhere. Let us do an activity to see if microorganisms are present in our garden soil and in ponds water. For this, first of all, collect some moist soil from garden or some field near your house in a beaker. Now add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, take a drop of water from the beaker. Place this drop on a glass slide. Now observe it under microscope. What did you observe? You will see very small organisms in it. Similarly, take a drop of water from pond, place it on a glass slide and observe it under microscope. You will also see microorganisms in it. Microorganisms are classified into 4 major groups. These groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. Examples of bacteria are spiral bacteria and rod-shaped bacteria. Examples of fungi are Aspergillus, Penicillium, and bread mold, means Rhizopus. Let us see the examples of protozoa also. Examples are amoeba and paramecium. Examples of algae are Spirogyra and Chlamydomonas. Except these 4 categories, there is one more group, which are called viruses. Viruses are microscopic, but these viruses are different from other microorganisms. They reproduce only inside the cells of host organisms, which may be a bacterium, plant, or animal. Now, we shall know where these microorganisms live. Microorganisms can live anywhere, in air, water, plants, on or inside the bodies of animals, including us. Microorganisms can survive under all type of environment, ranging from ice-cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy land. Microorganisms may be single-celled like bacteria, some algae, and protozoa, or multicellular such as algae and fungi. Some microorganisms like amoeba can live alone, while fungi and bacteria may live in colonies. Some microorganisms are beneficial to us, whereas some others are harmful to us and cause diseases. Now, let us see which microorganisms are friendly microbes. Microorganisms are used for various purposes. They are used for making bread, cake, paneer, pickles, vinegar, and curds, etc. An important ingredient of rava idlis and bhaturas is curd. Curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. These bacteria keep idlis and bhaturas soft. Some microorganisms help in cleaning environment. Microorganisms decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into manure. Manure is used to provide nutrients to the soil. These nutrients are again used by other plants. Microorganisms also degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean environment. Some microorganisms are of medicinal use also. Students, whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsule, or injection, such as penicillin. The sources of these medicines is microorganisms. These microorganisms kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. Such microorganisms are called antibiotic. Examples of antibiotic are streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin. Antibiotics are even mixed with cattle feed and poultry feed to check microbial infections. Students, do you know about vaccination? Why infants are given vaccination? When a disease-causing microbe enters our body produces antibodies to fight the invader microbe. And remember how to fight against microbe if it enters again. So a dead or weak disease-causing microbe is given to you in the form of vaccine, so that your body produces antibodies against it and remember how to fight when it actually enters our body. For example, polio vaccine, vaccine for cholera, smallpox, and hepatitis. Edward Jenner discovered the vaccine for smallpox in 1798. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. Microorganisms also help us commercially. Microorganisms are used for the large-scale production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, that is, vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, and crushed fruit juices, etc. Yeast converts sugar into alcohol. This process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation in 1857. Harmful microorganisms. Microorganisms are beneficial for us, but they can also be harmful to us. They are harmful to us in many ways. Some microorganisms cause disease in human beings, plants, and animals. For example, diseases like dysentery and malaria are caused by protozoans, whereas typhoid and tuberculosis are bacterial diseases. Cold, influenza, and most coughs are caused by viruses. Students, pandemic COVID-19, which has spread across the world nowadays, is also caused by virus known as coronavirus. Serious diseases like polio and chickenpox are also caused by virus. Some skin diseases are caused by fungi. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Pathogens enter our body through air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat, or by direct contact with infected person. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. For example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and COVID-19. When a person suffering from common cold or the disease which is very common now, COVID-19, sneezes, droplets carrying thousands of viruses are spread into the air and enter the body of healthy person. So we should wear a mask if we have cold-like symptoms. There are some insects and animals which act as carrier of diseases. Housefly is such a carrier. The fly sit on garbage and animal excreta. Pathogen stick to their bodies, and when these flies sit on uncovered food may transfer these pathogens. Whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick. So we should always cover our food items. Another example of carrier is mosquitoes. Mosquitoes spread diseases like dengue, chikungunya, and malaria. All mosquitoes breed in water, hence we should not let water collect in tires, flower pots, and water coolers. Some microorganisms spoil food, clothing, and leather. Students, now we shall study about disease-causing microorganisms in animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous human and cattle disease caused by bacterium. Foot and mouth disease in cattle is caused by a virus. Disease-causing microorganisms in plants. Citrus canker is disease of lemon and it is caused by bacteria and its mode of transmission is air. Rust of wheat is another disease which is caused by fungi and mode of transmission is air or seeds. Yellow vein mosaic of bhindi is a virus-based disease and is transmitted by insects. Let us now study the common methods to preserve food in our homes. We have to prevent food from the attack of microorganisms. For this, we use chemical methods. For example, common salt is used as preservative for preserving meat and fish. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, and tamarind. Jam, jellies, and squashes are preserved by sugar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such environment. Vegetables, fruits, fish, and meat are also preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatment. Example of heat and cold treatment is milk. This process is known as pasteurization. Pasteurized milk can be used without boiling as it is free from microbes. The milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. This prevents the growth of microbes. This process was discovered by Louis Pasteur, that is why it is known as pasteurization. One more technique is packing. Dry fruits and even vegetables are sold nowadays in airtight packets. This prevents the attack of organisms. Students, now we shall learn about nitrogen fixation. Bacterium rhizobium is involved in the fixation of nitrogen, and it is found in the roots nodules of the leguminous plants such as peas, beans, with which it has symbiotic relationship. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed by the action of lightning also. Now we shall study about nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. It is one of the essential component of all living organisms. It is found in proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acid, and vitamins. Plants and animals cannot use this atmospheric nitrogen directly. Let us understand it through nitrogen cycle. Atmospheric nitrogen is fixed by certain bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil. Then this fixed nitrogen is converted into nitrogenous compounds by bacteria. These compounds get mixed in the soil. These compounds are utilized by plants from the soil through root system. Nitrogen is used by plants for making proteins and other compounds. These plants are eaten by other animals. When plants and animals excrete or die, bacteria and fungi present in soil convert nitrogenous waste into nitrogenous compounds to be used by plants again. Some bacteria also turn compounds of nitrogen from soil into gaseous nitrogen. One more thing, atmospheric nitrogen is also fixed by lightning. This way, nitrogen cycle continues. Now, recapitulation time. Now let us revise the whole chapter. Microorganisms are too small and are not visible by naked eye. To see them, we need microscope. Microscope enlarge the image of the objects. Microorganisms may be unicellular or multicellular. For example, bacteria is unicellular and fungi or algae are multicellular. Viruses reproduce only inside the host organism. For example, bacterium, plant or animal cell. Students, let me tell you once again, for pandemic COVID-19, viruses are responsible. And the name of virus is coronavirus. We also studied about antibiotics. Antibiotics kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. Vaccine is a dead or weak microbe given to a person which help him in producing antibodies and remember the microbe and fight it when it actually enters the body. We studied about pasteurization, by which milk can be preserved for longer time. This process was invented by Louis Pasteur. Now, I will ask some questions from you. First of all, fill in the blank. Microorganisms are mainly divided into this many categories. Options are 5, 4, 3, 7, and the answer is 4. And if we add viruses also into the category, then option is 5. Why bread dough swell up? Answer is, we add yeast in bread dough, which reproduce rapidly and produce carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of gas fill the dough and increase volume. Next question. What is the name of process of conversion of sugar into alcohol? Yes, the answer is fermentation. Next question. Give 2 examples of communicable diseases. And the answer is cholera and common cold. Now, let us match the following. We have options on the left side: salt, sugar, oil and vinegar, heat and cold treatment, storage and packing. And on the right side we have raw mango and tamarind, milk, dry fruits, pickles and jam. Let us match. Salt. Salt is used for preserving mango and tamarind. Now the next one, sugar. Sugar is used for preserving jam. Oil and vinegar is used to preserve pickles. Heat and cold treatment is done with milk, and the process is known as pasteurization. Storage and packaging is done for dry fruits. Now the next question. Which of the following is antibiotic? And the options are sodium bicarbonate, streptomycin, alcohol or yeast. And the right option is streptomycin. And the last question. COVID-19 is caused by bacteria, virus, fungi, algae. And the right option is virus. With this, we finish our chapter. I hope you all have understood it well. Now, go through this chapter from your textbook and try to solve questions given in back exercise. Take care, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you, students.